Sanford from Muncie, Indiana. Sounds like a happening place. He writes to me and he says, "Hey Paul, I really enjoyed book 2 of the Eemian series. They were first." Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. But he further writes, "I've also read book 1, and the voices between the two books are very different. So why are they different if you wrote them at the same time?" Well, that's a really good question. And they do have different voices. So they came first originally, just so I'll tell you a little secret. The Aurora Project, and they came first, the first 2 books of the Eemian series, were actually one book. So in the original book, we started out with the adventurer Sam Sawyer. He was trying to get away from his father, and he went to this remote island where he met the crazy professor, and they discovered this great secret of the Eemians, this ancient civilization that happened 100,000 years ago. And then that's like chapter 1. And then chapter 2, we go back 100,000 years and we get to know the Eemians because they were people just like us. And without going into too much detail, we know, which people have said, well, why, these skulls and all this back here. We know that Homo sapiens, you and me, started about 120,000 years ago. And the Eemians were the first real Homo sapiens. They had, I think, a culture just like ours, technologically advanced. And anyway, that's what the book's all about. So in the original book, we went back and forth. Chapter 1, then chapter 2 was the Eemian story, and then chapter 3 went back to the present day story. And I just found it to be a little too, I don't know, tough to keep the reader's interest. So I pulled that story out and we turned it into a separate book, and then I added more. And you're right, the voice in that is definitely different. And I think the reason for that is that over the years that I worked on that story, it was a lot easier to write something that was pure fiction, right? Because I don't know anything about that, as opposed to present day, where I'm trying to make everything as scientifically accurate as possible. So that's probably the difference in those two voices. But anyway, thanks for reading the books. Great question. And I'm working on book 3 right now, which is kind of exciting, and it's going to be cool. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.